A very good evening. We're coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst Centre here in Colombo with PrimeTime News, live on Newsfirst. I'm Mahina Bonzo.
And I'm Madhushka Balasuriya. Let's start off with a look at your headlines.
The UK will extend its fullest support for Sri Lanka to reach its future development goals. A statement from the British Prime Minister. Top drug dealer arrested in Negombo with 5 kilograms of heroin. Opposition MPs head to the Bribery Commission seeking an investigation into controversial central bank bond issue. A firm decision will be taken if constitutional amendment is not introduced as an urgent bill. The opposition leader takes a stand. All share price index drops for the 9th consecutive day at the Colombo Stock Exchange. Minister Sajith Premadasa expresses his displeasure over statements made by Vimal Weerawansa.
A top drug dealer was arrested by the police anti-narcotics bureau in Negombo along with 5 kilograms of heroin. The police said the suspect's son was also arrested for his involvement in the racket.
This large-scale drug dealer was arrested following several raids conducted by the Police Anti-Narcotics Bureau over several days. The police said that the suspect runs many other businesses, including a jewelry store in the Negombo area. Police also believe that the suspect has been peddling drugs since 1990.
Police was successful in apprehending an individual in possession of 14 grams of heroin at the Ragama Police Division. After questioning that suspect following his arrest, police were able to arrest another individual in the same police division in possession of 250 grams of heroin. After questioning the second suspect, police were able to seize more heroin from a residence in the Katana area, which led to the arrest of the chief suspect running this racket. The chief suspect has been identified as the father of the second suspect I mentioned before.
The acting police media spokesperson revealed details about the investigations into Samantha Kumara alias Vele Sudha.
The bank accounts of Vele Sudha's closest relatives have been obtained and are currently being analysed as to how money was deposited into these accounts. Moreover, we are obtaining information on the telephone numbers of all those who were in contact with Vele Sudha.
It was the opposition, led by the SLFP, which broke its silence today on the alleged insider trading controversy at the central bank. 3 SLFP parliamentarians visited the commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption today to lodge a formal complaint against the governor of the central bank.
MPs Mahinda Amaraweera, Jagat Pushpakumara and Eric Prasanna Weerawardena arrived at the Commission this morning and called on the Commission to conduct an investigation on purported insider trading at a recent bond issue of the central bank.
This fraud had caused an instant loss to the central bank and the country. This transaction took place without any transparency whatsoever. In addition to this instant loss, as a result of the drastic increase in the interest rates, a loss of more than 60 billion will be incurred in repaying government debt next year. This is extremely harmful to the country. The media too was able to expose a fraud that was committed under the program of this 100-day government. A person who is not a citizen of this country has been appointed to one of the most important positions. We also made a special request that he be prohibited from overseas travel in order to prevent him leaving the country. The annual loss incurred by the country as a result of this going for a higher interest rate is 60 billion. I believe that a loss of this scale is a major economic crime for the country. Using such a massive amount of money, we would actually be able to build expressways from Colombo to Galle every year. This is a major blow to financial good governance and fiscal discipline in the country.
Controversy has also arisen with regard to the appointment of the 3-member committee by the Prime Minister to investigate this matter. At
the same time, we cannot have any faith in the committee appointed by the Prime Minister. This has happened under his ministry, so we are hoping to make a request of the President when he returns to the island to appoint an independent committee. The mistake has been made by a person who is under the Prime Minister's office. What we see is that a committee comprising of lawyers from the UNP headquarters Srikota has been appointed. This would be like getting the story from the rogue's mother. We reported this to the Bribery Commission.
Sri Lanka නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ වශයෙන් අපි විශේෂයෙන් කියන්නට ඕන මේ ගනුදෙනුව ඉතාම
As the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, we must clearly state that this is a very suspicious transaction. If the committee appointed to investigate this is to fulfill its task independently, it will have to secure all the documentation and evidence from the central bank itself. Without making this a situation where they get the story from the rogue's mother, the governor of the central bank should resign if they are to conduct an independent inquiry.
ස්වාධීන ලෙස ඒ පරීක්ෂණය පැවැත්වීමට නම් වර්තමාන මහ බැංකුවේ අධිපතිවරයා ඉල්ලා අස්වෙන්නට ඕන.
The committee appointed to review the purported bond scam is a mockery of Yahapalanaya, and it is an insult to the president's commitment to have a system of Yahapalanaya in this country. What is under investigation is not to prosecute somebody in a criminal court, nor to read some contracts of law. So 3 lawyers does not make any sense. The committee should comprise of a senior central banker, maybe a former retired deputy governor of the central bank. Secondly, it should have a senior chartered financial analyst. And thirdly, a senior chartered accountant who's in practice.
Firstly, the appointing authority, the authority responsible for the appointment of the governor of the central bank, is the same authority who has appointed this committee. That's not transparency. It would have been far better if the 3-member committee consisted of a retired central banker with knowledge of the workings of this very specialized instrument called a treasury bond, a financial analyst, and perhaps a chartered accountant. Following their initial report, there may be or may not be a case for a legal team to set in. The appointment of this committee is actually an insult to the intelligence of the people of this country. It is also non-reflective of good governance, the basis upon which this new government was elected by the people of Sri Lanka.
Meanwhile, parliamentarian Sajin Divas Gunawardena failed to appear before the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption today as requested.
The Commission noted that MP Sajin Divas Gunawardena had informed them that he would be unable to appear before the Commission today as he is unwell. He had informed the Commission that he would appear before them tomorrow. Meanwhile, the CID today grilled the wife of MP Sajin Divas Gunawardena.
Parliamentu Mantri Sachin Vas Gunawardena Mahata Sambandhen.
An investigation is underway into MP Sajin Divas Gunawardena under the Money Laundering Act. His wife, Damayanti Gunawardena, was called to the CID in connection with this investigation today. She was questioned and a statement was recorded.
දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව වෙත කැඳවා ප්‍රශ්න කරමින් ප්‍රකාශයක් සටහන් කරගනු ලබනවා.
Now, speaking at an event held in Ambalantara today, Minister Sajid Premadasa expressed the following views.
Our government does not protect rogues. I saw recently through a certain media institution, Veerawangsa has said that this problem came about because the governor of the central bank and his brother, the owner of the Sirasa Media Network, were in this together. He claimed that the governor of the central bank is the brother of the owner of the Sirasa Media Network. It is a baseless lie. When you were the minister, you destroyed the housing ministry. You destroyed the construction sector and the engineering corporation. The former minister, who is responsible for many irregularities in his ministry, does not know who is and who isn't the brother of the governor of the central bank. In this case too, he is uttering lies and leading the people of this country astray. I know that Veerawangsa has a big problem when his name is used. It is not good to assassinate characters when making statements to the media. It is not good to become a lying political lizard.
The minister provided Sahanadiriya loans to 200 families at the event.
Continuing in your local news, Venerable Athuraliya Rathanathera, the chairman of the Jathika Hela Urumaya, says the task of abolishing the powers of the executive presidency and amending the electoral system must be completed prior to the next election. At a joint media briefing convened today, it was reiterated that the government must immediately come back onto the correct path.
The Sri Lanka Freedom Party, under the patronage of the opposition leader, convened a media briefing in Colombo today to explain their stance on the proposed amendments to the constitution.
If this is tabled in Parliament as an urgent bill, the people will not be able to debate this matter among the public. In that context, the Sri Lanka Freedom Party is completely opposed to amendments to the constitutions being tabled in Parliament as an urgent bill. If it does get tabled, we will have to take a stern decision as to whether or not we will render our support to it.
The SLFP also elaborated on their stance as to how the constitution should be amended.
The Sri Lanka Freedom Party is ready to abolish the powers vested in the President to dissolve Parliament. The party is ready to abolish the President's immunity, where at no instance can he be taken to court or cases be filed against the President. The third point is, the President does not have the power to appoint a cabinet. That power should be vested in the Prime Minister. But we insist that the President should have the power to appoint governors. The Ministry of Defence should also be under the President. However, the current President can function as it is now. The President should continue to function with the powers vested to him over lands. With these presidential powers being reduced or slashed, it is essential that the preferential voting system be abolished and a system be put in place where a parliamentarian who is responsible for each electorate is appointed. This cannot be broken up into two parts. It must be done simultaneously. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party will stand by this stance, because if this does not receive our 120 votes, nothing will be passed.
Nimasiri Silva also noted that the electoral system must be changed before an election.
We have said that the national priority is to go in for an election with the new electoral system. It doesn't matter if they go in for an election the day after the new electoral system is introduced. This is the thing. We aren't speaking about this with the United National Party. We are speaking about it with the President. And he must sort this matter out with the United National Party. We are not joining Ranil Wickremesinghe's government. We are joining Maithripala Sirisena's government.
Views was expressed on Mr. John Amratunga.
Those United National Party are meddling in the activities of the police. We urge His Excellency the President to change the Minister of Public Order. No, in politics you have to be practical, not afraid. We will decide whether it is practical or not.
What you just witnessed was a media briefing that was held today, where the Sri Lanka Freedom Party said that it is against the tabling of the proposed amendment to the constitution as an urgent bill. As we heard, opposition leader Nimasiri de Silva said if the amendments to the constitution are tabled in Parliament as an urgent bill, the party will have to take a stern decision. Well, moving back to one of our local stories, Venerable Athuraliya Rathanathera, the chairman of the Jathika Hela Urumaya, says the task of abolishing the powers of the executive presidency and amending the electoral system must be completed prior to the next election. At a joint media briefing convened today, it was reiterated that the government must immediately come back onto the correct path.
JHU leader Venerable Omalte Sobitathera, Chairman Venerable Athuraliya Rathanathera and Venerable Madhuluwave Sobitathera convened a joint media briefing at the Sri Naga Vihara in Kotte today. The Pivithuru Hetak organization of Venerable Athuraliya Rathanathera and the National Movement for a Just Society of Venerable Madhuluwave Sobitathera were among key influence groups that raised a powerful voice for good governance in the run-up to the concluded election.
It is now becoming evident that the voice we raise is not yielding results after 60 days. The key factor is the establishment of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, and in truth, no concrete steps have been taken in this regard. None of those accused of major corruption have even been detained at the very least.
කතන්දරේනේ මෙච්චර කල් තිබුණේ. පහුගිය කාලේ අපිට ඔප්පුවෙච්ච කාරණේ තමයි වැටත් නියරත් පසුත් ගොයන්කානම් කාට පවසංගේ අමාරුව කියලා. ඒ නිසා අපට බලවත් කලකිරීමක්.
We are extremely frustrated with this. We speak representing the people of this country who respect morality. This government must take immediate steps in the future at least to come onto the correct path, reveal information on fraud and corruption and punish those who are responsible. We would like to reiterate through the media at this time that if this does not happen, then this government too will have to suffer the punishment.
සිද්ධ වෙන බවත් අපි දැඩි අවධාරණයෙන් මතක් කරනවා මේ වෙලාවේ මාධ්‍ය හරහා.
මේ ආණ්ඩුවෙන් හොරකම් කරත් හොරකමයි පහුගිය ආණ්ඩුවෙන් හොරකම් කරත් හොරා
A theft is a theft. It is the same theft and the same thief. There is no need to pardon anyone. There is no need for sympathy. If those in the previous government are reprimanded for mistakes they made, then it should be twofold for the current government. That is all. That is what we promised. We came here to put a stop to this. We spoke about a nation free of corruption, a country free of bribery and fraud. People are giving evidence to television stations. Former ministers are giving evidence. There has been no inquiry into any of this. We find it astounding as to why they are not even inquiring into it. They are not being arrested. They are not being interrogated and the rogues are not being caught. Even when they come forward willingly to give evidence, it is not taken into account. The abolition of the powers of the executive presidency, the amendment of the electoral system and the establishing of the independent commissions must definitely happen before the election. This parliament may be able to continue for another year, but it must be ensured that there is no system of preferential voting in the next election.
මැතිවරණ ක්‍රමයක් බවට අනිවාර්යෙන්ම පත්විය යුතුමයි. අපි ඒක බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
The Working Committee of the United National Party convened today. The meeting, which took place at the party headquarters Sirikota, was presided by party leader and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. Now, the Working Committee of the United National Party has decided to call for parliamentary elections after the 23rd of April. Media spokesperson of the party, Minister Akila Viraj Karyawasam, said that the Working Committee reached a decision to conduct the election under the present electoral system.
The United National Party unanimously decided that an election will be held after the 23rd of April. Everyone was of the view that all promises need to be fulfilled as mentioned before the election. We need to fulfill that requirement. We will take the decision on the 23rd of April. We have reached a decision to have an election under the present electoral system after the 23rd of April.
මේ පවතින මැතිවරණ ක්‍රමයේ යටතේ අප්‍රේල් 23 වෙනිදායින් පසුව මැතිවරණයට යා යුතුයි කියන තීරණයට අපි එළඹුවා.
In more local news, the case pertaining to the forging of documents by the former General Secretary of the UMP, Tissa Tanaika, was taken up once again at the Colombo Fort Magistrates Court today.
Tissa Tanaika was arrested on the charge of preparing a document containing the forged signatures of Maithripala Sirisena and Ranil Wickremesinghe in the run-up to the presidential election. Tanaika was later released on bail. When the case was taken up today, the Criminal Investigations Department informed court that investigations into the case are still ongoing. The magistrate ordered that the case will be taken up again on the 3rd of June this year.
This is totally an act of political revenge. In my political career, I have never seen an era where political revenge has been exacted to this extent. Therefore, I believe that I will receive justice from the judiciary. I have not received an invitation. I'm not sure, but party-level talks on that matter might be taking place. I haven't been informed of that either. I need to take a decision in the future regarding my political career. I have not given thought to it as yet. I'm keeping quiet until this case comes to a close.
Moving into business news, in a story making headlines, the all-share price index of the Colombo Stock Exchange dropped for the 9th consecutive day today. Over the past 9 trading days, the ASPI has dropped by 207 points.
The all-share price index of the Colombo Stock Exchange recorded a growth over 7,605 points as of the 9th of January. Since then, the all-share price index has dropped by 495 points, which is a decline of 6.8%. The record loss for the year was reported from the 29th of January to the 2nd of February. Analysts believe that the uncertainty among investors over the taxes introduced through the interim budget had led to this situation. Although the market recorded a growth of 300 points until the end of February, over the past few days that rate had seen a continuous decline. Today, the all-share price index stood at 7,110.19 points, which is a decline of 19.86%.
Welcome back to the news. Tamil National Alliance parliamentarian Sivashakti Anandan charges that because of Minister Rishad Badiuddin's intervention, the process of selecting those who are to be resettled under the Indian housing project did not take place in a proper manner.
While a demonstration was launched at the Vavuniya Urban Council grounds at around 10 this morning, the demonstrators arrived at the Vavuniya District Secretariat along the A9 road. A group including parliamentarians and Northern Provincial Councillors took part in the demonstration. The demonstrators charged that the process of selecting those who are to be resettled under the Indian housing project did not take place in a proper manner due to the intervention of Minister Rishad Badiuddin. They said that they believe that they will receive a more positive response during the visit of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Sri Lanka. The demonstrators who arrived at the district secretariat handed over a memo to the district secretary. The crowd dispersed following assurances from the district secretary that the matter of the Indian housing project will be addressed and that the memo handed to him will be referred to the President and the Prime Minister. The Sri Lankan government, together with the Indian government, did not provide this housing project out of fear that the number of lives lost in the war will be revealed. So because of that, this housing project of 50,000 houses has been constructed in different parts of the country. Regardless of for whom this housing project has been constructed, these people have not received anything. This benefit has not been given to the right people because of the interference of Minister Rishad Badiuddin and other officials.
The 175th edition of the Newsfirst classroom workshop, which is being held over 3 days, will conclude at the Haliala National School in Badulla tomorrow. Concurrent to the program, a leadership seminar was held today at the school.
The Newsfirst Classroom Workshop is a program that enriches students with the knowledge of media, thus transforming them into an educated generation of students. Students from several schools in the Badulla district participated in the leadership seminar held today. Speakers at the event included Group Director of the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited, S.C. Veerasekara, Finance Director of MAS Intimate, Rohan Keragala, Director Music, Sirasa FM, Nihal Vikrama Edri Surya, and Manager YFM, Chamika Roshan.
I have seen people who become frustrated with life and fall into decline, and I have even seen people who take their own lives as a result. There is no need for any of that. We are all born with a unique skill set.
Do not be afraid of examinations. If there are students sitting for their A-levels this year, I ask them to have a positive outlook. Put up a progress board in front of your bed and follow it.
Let us speak a little about radio. The whole concept of electronic media was introduced to the world by this instrument, the radio. And it is an amazing story. The foundation for radio communication was laid as far back as 1267.
Think about it for a minute. This total Facebook has been used to influence elections, change countries, change regimes, make people popular and unpopular, expose rogues and prove innocence. The finest example of this is Tunisia, where new media technology was used to topple a government.
A notable event at the school today was when students paid tribute to their parents. This was held under the direction of Venerable Vitiyala Kavida Jathero.
Group Director of the Imona Center in Kosovo, Agron Mikolovsky, says that the Sri Lankan Tea Board has a major role to play to build Sri Lanka's reputation globally. Imona, based in Vushtri, was established in 1989 by Murtez Mikolovci and is now owned by the ambitious and dedicated heirs.
A large population in Kosovo consume tea on a daily basis. During the last few years, A.F. Jones from Sri Lanka has been providing us with original products. We are very satisfied with the products they offer us. There are many fake brands in Kosovo, and these brands use the Sri Lankan trademark to distribute tea. This is where the Sri Lankan Tea Board has a major role to play. They are tasked with building Sri Lanka's brand globally and ensuring that such fake companies do not operate in the global market. Kosovo is now open for business. Investors who are interested should grasp this opportunity.
The family and the legal team of retired Colonel Nazim, the former defense minister of the Maldives, who is now under arrest on what he says are trumped-up terrorism charges, convened a media briefing in Colombo yesterday.
And with all of these things, we believe that some people started getting jealous of his growing popularity. He was on the media quite often. He was seen in a lot of public events. He was invited as the chairperson. I think this brought about jealousy in people, and they wanted to destroy his political career. And this is why this has happened.
Come on, in which country have a defense minister's home been raided? A sitting defense minister of a country. Okay, we can call any name of any country, even the smallest tiny one island country. No, we have made world history. We have made world history not only being the smallest country, we have made world history by attacking. Now, after this raid, Colonel Nazim has come on media and said that there is no safety to any citizen of Maldives. That police can do anything what they want. They can come into when they can raid a defense minister's house at midnight. I mean, there is chance that police can come and plant drugs at any citizen's house at midnight while they are asleep.
You answer the allegation that he was planning a coup, and what's his relationship with avant-garde Sri Lanka?
And it is there is no allegations about bringing down the government, and he has no relationship with anyone here in Colombo.
And on that note, we wrap up this edition of Primetime News. I've been Madhushka Balasuriya.
And I'm Mahina Bongzo. Take care and good night.
Good night.